One thing I love about our modern world is mental health resources are really at the tip of your fingers. Uh, you know, Sometimes maybe they're not 100% accurate. Maybe an AI bot wrote them, but we do have a vernacular for things that used to be pretty obscure, like the word trigger. Trigger, I love the manifestation, the healing space, because they say triggers are your best guides. And as much as I have been pained at this topic, I agree. Your triggers are messages from your soul telling you, yo, we have a problem here. We have a problem here and you need to address it. Why? Because you can't go through your day without melting down because of something that you couldn't control that has been said to you, that you've seen on television, that you've read in a newspaper. And we need to get right. We need to get right so that you can live a happy life. Look, I'm not saying I'm trigger free. I get triggered by things like, paper mail with bills in them. I hate that shit. But what I don't get triggered about anymore are, since I disclose, are haunting memories that I have repressed from the past, images and moments from horrors that I have experienced during the darkness, a period of time following my first sexual assault, my first adult sexual assault when I was 19, and other subsequent sexual assaults that I survived. I don't recoil when I come across material that addresses these topics. I'm able to sit and scroll through TikTok or watch The Handmaid's Tale again or read a book without maybe having a meltdown, because that's what triggers do. If you're not prepared for the content, if you haven't readied yourself, and if things are still so raw because you're holding it all inside, then you are very likely to cry at a time when you don't want to cry. Now, I am super sophisticated at repressing tears. I have had to do it in the courtroom more times than I can count. I have had to be the strong one, even while I was a survivor, even while I had a survivor who was a child on my witness stand in court in front of a jury. That is next level dissociation. And that's who you have speaking to you right now in this video. You need to know that about me. But there were other times when just the mention of this kind of pain, just the mention, would send me into a trail of tears and despair. And it is from those times that I continued to heed the nagging voice inside of me that says, Jody, you need to get this off your chest. You need to say the truth about what happened to you so that you can heal. Because you shouldn't be this way right now over this. You shouldn't be reacting this way. You shouldn't be so distracted in front of your kids. You shouldn't be so angry at that driver. Whatever it is, it bubbles up in so many different ways. But you're not happy. It's very clear to you that something's not right. You're medicating, you're acting out, you're having all these bubbling up events from these triggers, like we call them. But what they are is their survival mechanisms born out of post-traumatic stress disorder, which is very common among survivors of war and sexual violence. And I had to learn to forgive myself for what I thought were my triggers, AKA my shortcomings. No, these were my inner messages. These were flares being shot out from my soul's flare guns that was telling me time to heal. Because I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to be on a stage, to deliver a message that people could use that would help you go forth and live a happy life. But I could not get past these triggers until I finally did the thing that I wrote a book about called Outcry Witness, until I finally made my outcry, till I finally became unfrozen and told the truth about what had happened to me.